Hello everyone, this is Grace here. In this video, we'll be discussing problem 3.7 under process costing. So in a factory, the product passes through two processes A and B. A loss of 5% is allowed in process A and 2% in process B. Nothing being realized by disposal of wastage. During April, 10,000 units of material costing rupees 6 each were introduced in process A. The other costs were as follows. They have given here two processes, material A and material B. They have given the expenses, direct expenses which is to be taken in your process account, material, labor, overheads. For process A, materials is nil. For process B, it is given. For labor for process A and B for both is given. Overheads for process A and for both is given in the problem. The output was 9,300 units for process A from process A and 9,200 units were produced by process B, which were transferred to warehouse. 8,000 units of the finished product were sold at rupees 15 per unit. The selling and distribution expenses being rupees 2 per unit. Prepare process accounts and statement of profit and loss of the firm for April, assuming there was no opening stock of any type. So in this problem, they have given us the information about the normal loss. The information, so first they have stated there are two processes in the factory, that is process A and B. Then they have stated a loss of 5% is allowed for process A and 2% for process B, which is nothing but your normal loss. Then nothing being realized by disposal of wastage. So they have not given the amount at which normal loss is being realized. During April, so as the amount of normal loss to be realized is not given, the realization will be nil. Only the units you will be considering for normal loss. During April, 10,000 units of materials costing rupees 6 were introduced in process A. So this 10,000 units, which is costed at rupees 6, is your units introduced for your process A. Then they've given your materials labor overheads, which is your expense which you will be taking into in your input side of your process account. So your left hand side is always input and your right hand side will be your output side. So the column which is there in your process account towards your left hand side is your input, or you can also consider as your debit column as your input and your credit column as your output. So your debit items will all be your inputs and your credit items, credit side will all be your outputs. So all your expenses and the units which are introduced will be in your debit side, that is your input side, and all the outputs, normal loss, abnormal loss, will be in your output column. So now they have given the expenses, so we will be taking that expense. So other adjustment is given here. The output was 9,300 units. So this is the output for process A, which is 9,300, which will be taken in your output column, that is on the credit side. Then 9,200 units for process B. So for A as well as for B, output units is given, which were transferred to a warehouse. So the last process B's output was transferred to warehouse, that is nothing but a finished product is transferred to the warehouse. Then they have stated 8,000 units of finished products were sold at rupees 15 per unit. So as you look into the problem, process B's output is 9,200, but they have also stated out of this 9,200 units, 8,000 is were sold at rupees 15 per unit. The selling and distribution expenses also they have given for at rupees 2 per unit, and they have asked us to prepare process account, and they have asked us to prepare statement of profit and loss of the firm for April. So both process account as well as the statement of profit and loss is to be prepared, because they've given additional information here stating from this 9,200 output, 8,000 is sold, to check whether you're earning profit or loss. So first we'll prepare the process account. So to prepare the process account, it is the normal way as we have followed in the other problems what we have solved till now. So now first let us get into a process A account. So in your input, we'll finish with your input side. So the number of units introduced is first to be taken, 10,000 units at rupees 6. So 2 units introduced, or you can write it as 2 materials introduced. So 2 materials is taken here. So 10,000 units at rupees 6 will give you 10,000 into 6 will give you 60,000. Next is your labor. So labor is how much? 10,000, so you will be taking as 10,000. Next is your overheads 6,000. So there are no other expenses to be recorded in your input. So now we will go to your output column. In your output column, first you need to check whether you have normal loss. Yes, you have a normal loss here. A loss of 5% is allowed in process A. So a 5% of loss is allowed. So how much is your units introduced? 10,000. So 10,000 into 5% will give you 500. Next you need to check whether they've given the resale value or scrap value for this normal loss. In this problem they have clearly stated nothing being realized. As nothing is being realized, you will mark it as nil. So next is, after normal loss, you need to check any other output is given. That is your output for that particular process. Yes, output is given. The output was 9,300 units from process A. So you will be taking by transfer to process to process B. A's output will always be transferred to the next process, which is process B. So how many units is given? 9,300. So now we will check the number of units after considering your input and output. So in your input you have 10,000 units. In your output, as of now you have only normal loss and you are transferred to process B, where it is 500 and 9,300. In your input it is 10,000. In your output it is 500 and 9,300. So add 9,300 plus 500, you will get 9,800. So your input units are 10,000, where your output units are 9,800. As your input is more than your output, you will have abnormal loss. By abnormal loss. So what is the difference? So 10,000 units minus 9,800 units. How did you get this 9,800 units? Normal loss 500 plus 9,300, which is your output for process A, which will give you 200. So the 200, the difference in your output column, is your abnormal loss. Your next step is to find out what is the value of abnormal loss. So as everybody know, the formula for abnormal loss is the number of total number of units, total cost minus normal loss value divided by number of units introduced minus normal loss units. Here we don't have normal loss. We have only we don't have normal loss value here. We have only number of units introduced and the total cost. So we will be calculating using the same formula. So the formula will be total number of units introduced. So total number of introduced, I will show the calculation in your Excel format. So in your Excel format, I've pasted the formula. Cost per unit is equal to, this is abnormal loss calculation, cost per unit. Total cost minus value of normal loss divided by units introduced minus normal loss units. So here we have total cost. We don't have the value of normal loss. We have units introduced and normal loss units. So what is your total cost as per the problem here is, so what is the total cost as per the calculation is, the total cost is 60,000 plus 10,000 plus 6,000, which will give you 76,000 is the total cost. So 76,000 is the total cost, is equal to, so we will calculate 76,000 minus value of normal loss, which is not given in the problem. So 0 divided by units introduced. So units introduced is 10,000 units, and how much is your normal loss units? 500. So divided by 10,000 minus 500. So here 10,000. So the numerator is 76,000. So you'll be getting numerator as 76,000 divided by 10,000 minus 500 will give you 9,500, where you will be getting rupees 8 as your normal loss calculation. So this is the answer for your rupees 8. So you'll be getting rupees 8 for your abnormal loss. So this is your abnormal loss for process, abnormal loss cost per unit for process A. So how much is your normal loss for your process A? Rupees 8. So we will go to the process account. So in your process account, your abnormal loss units is 200. So 200 into 8 will give you 1600. So 200 is your number of units. So units is 200. So your 200 into cost per unit, which is 8, will give you 1600. So this is your units. This is your cost per unit. So the same thing will be applicable for your process B as well. And this is your total, what you're getting for your abnormal loss. So as we have got 1600, so we have got 1600. So no, there's no value for normal loss. Abnormal loss is 1600. So the balancing figure will obviously be the amount which will be transferred to your process B's account. So 10,000 is units. You have calculated the units. So 10,000 and 10,000 is tallying here because the difference is in your abnormal loss. So now the total of your input side is 76,000. So 76,000 minus the abnormal loss, which is 1600, which will give you 74,400. So this is your balancing figure. So 74,000 divided by 9,300 will give you 8. Usually always the cost per unit for your abnormal loss, what you will get, the balance, the cost per unit for the amount which is to be transferred to the next process also will be same. You can look into the other problems also. The cost per unit for abnormal loss and the cost per unit for the goods which is to be product which is to be transferred to the next process will always be same. So here, as it is 8 for abnormal loss, cost per unit is 8 for abnormal loss, so 8 into 200 you're getting 1600. The same way, now if you calculate, the balancing figure is 74,400 you're getting here. So 74,400 divided by 9,300, which will give you rupees 8. So now let us get into the next process, process B. So in process B, the output was 9,300 units for okay. So we will, for process B, the balance by transfer to process B. So this will be the input for process B. So to transfer from process A, what is the output for process A? 9,300. So this input is 9,300. So what is the amount? 74,400. So 74,400. Next we will take other expenses. So material 6,140, labor 6,000, two overheads 4,600. Then we have your outputs. We have normal loss units. Normal loss units is 2% on input. So how much is your input? 9,300. So 9,300 into 2% will give you 186. So you have got 186. Now we will total up the units. We have output units also. Output units for process B is 9,200. Okay, 9,200 units. Now in your input we have 9,300 units. Next in normal loss units is 186 and 9,200. Just check if both are tallying. If it is not tallying, then we will either have abnormal gain or abnormal loss. So now in your input it is 9,300. In your output it is, you have inputs 186 plus 9200, which will give you 9386. So here it is 9300 in input, in output it is 9386, as it is more. 86 rupees is 86 units are more. Your output unit is more than your input. When your output is more than your input, that means you have got your abnormal gain. So to abnormal gain 86 units, the difference 9386 minus 9300 will give you 86. So now we'll use the formula to find out the abnormal gain amount. So formula to find out the abnormal gain amount is the same: total cost minus value of normal loss divided by units introduced minus normal loss units. So we will calculate abnormal gain, as we have got abnormal gain for process B, abnormal gain cost per unit for process B. So the formula will be same: total cost minus value of normal loss divided by units introduced. So what is the total cost for process B? The total cost will be 74,400 plus 74,400 plus 6,140 plus 6,000 plus 4,600 plus 86. I'm sorry, not 860. 860 is what we're going to find out. 4,600 will give you 91,140. So the total cost is 91,140. So 91,140. So we will be taking it here is equal to 91,140 is the total cost minus normal loss, not value of normal loss. So in this problem we don't the value for normal loss is not given, as a scrap value for normal loss is not given. We will consider it as 0, divided by units introduced minus normal loss units. So we'll look into what is the number of units introduced. For process B, the number of units introduced is 9,300. And what is the value of units of normal loss? 186. So units introduced is 9,300 minus normal loss units is 186. So according to the formula, you will get rupees 10 per unit. So the cost per unit is rupees 10. So the cost per unit is rupees 10. So how many units is the how many units is the abnormal gain? 186. So as it is 186, so the value will be for the abnormal gain will be is equal to 186 into 10. The abnormal gain units is 86 into 10 will give you 860. So abnormal gain 86, abnormal gain units what we have got in the problem is 86, and the cost per unit is rupees 10 as per the formula. As per the formula what we have used, we have got rupees 10, and as the cost per unit is rupees 10 and the number of units of abnormal gain is 86, we will be getting 860. So 860 is your abnormal gain. By normal loss we have got. And the last thing what we're going to find out is the difference. Usually the difference will be the amount which is to be transferred to the next process, or it can be the finished product value. So the total of your input for process B is 92,000. So 92,000 in your output, you don't have anything. It is nil. So the balancing figure will be 92,000 itself. As there is no credit items, or there is no amount in your output column, the balancing figure will be 92,000 itself. So the cost per unit will be 92,000 divided by 9,200, which is rupees 10. So for all the problems what you're preparing, process A account, process B account, please mention the cost per unit. So how will you calculate the cost per unit? For here, now 74,400, the balancing figure, after you get your balancing figure, divide 74,400 divided by 9,300, you will get 8. This cost per unit will be matching with the cost per unit of your abnormal loss. So then it is matching. So then it is the right answer here. So the same thing here, for this the abnormal gain you have got, for that unit is rupees 10. So when you get the balancing figure for your finished product or for the amount to be transferred to the next process, when you divide that total cost divided by number of units, you have got 10 per unit. So this cost as well as the abnormal cost is the same, so it is right here. So make sure that for every problem at the end, for each process, what is the cost per unit, please mention it in the bracket. So next is we have prepared process account. Next they have asked us to prepare a statement for profit or loss to know whether the firm is gaining profit or loss because they are selling 8,000 units out of this finished product. So your finished product is how much? 92,000. What is the cost what you have spent for it? 92,000. So what is the cost per unit? Rupees 10. So the cost per unit is rupees 10 year for the product, finished product. So out of this 9,200, they are selling 8,000 units. So if they're selling 8,000, which they are selling for 15 rupees 15 per unit. So actual cost is rupees 10, but they're selling it for 15. And they've given us the expenses here, which is selling and distribution expense rupees 2. So keeping all this in mind, let us do the calculation to find out whether we're getting profit or loss. So the next sheet is calculation or statement of profit and loss. So 8,000 units has been sold. So sales 8,000 units at rupees 15 each, which is mentioned in the problem. You will be getting 1,20,000. 8,000 into 15 will give you 1,20,000. Now this is the sales amount. So now we need to minus or deduct all the expenses and or add any gains what we have got. So now deduct all expenses. When you deduct from your sales, you deduct all your costs, you will be getting your profit, or we can check whether we're getting loss. So now less cost of production at rupees 8,000 units. So what is the exact cost what you're spending? You're selling it for 15, but what is the cost which is incurred? So for 9,200 units it is rupees 10. So now for 8,000 units, if it is rupees 10, the total cost can be estimated. So 8,000 units which is sold, so into 10 rupees. So this is the exact cost which is incurred to manufacture the units. So for 9,200 into 10, the total cost is 92,000. But as you are engaged only in selling 8,000 units, we need to know what is the cost for 8,000 units. So 8,000 into at rupees 10. So how did you get this rupees 10? This is from your process B, the last process finished product, rupees 10 per unit. From here you got the cost. So at rupees 10, which will give you 80,000. Then in the question they have stated selling and distribution expenses being rupees 2 per unit. So selling and distribution rupees 2 per unit. So how many units are you selling? 8,000 units. For this units, rupees 2 per unit is the cost. So 8,000 into 2 will give you 16,000. So the total cost is 80,000 plus 16,000 will give you 96,000. So your sales 1,20,000 minus 96,000 of the cost will give you the balance 24,000. So with this you need to check whether you have any abnormal loss or abnormal loss incurred in the problem. So less abnormal loss you have in process A, abnormal loss. So how much is that abnormal loss in process A is 1,600. So 1,600 is your abnormal loss. So 24,000 minus 1,600 will give you 22,400. Next, after this, you need to check whether you have got any gain. So 22,400 is the total balance what you're getting. So now in the problem, you need to check whether you have any gain. Yes, you have abnormal gain in process B. So how much is the amount for your abnormal gain in the process B, which is 860. 260. So we will be taking your profit and loss. We will add that abnormal gain to know the exact profit what you're getting. So you will add 860, you will be getting 23,260. So from the cost, so that this is a total cost. When you deduct your total cost in the other incomes, your profit what you get for that particular goods what you have sold is 23,260. So you have got profit, you have got profit for this particular sale what you have made. So the net profit is 23,260. So looking into the statement of profit and loss, we have taken abnormal loss and abnormal gain. So a question may arise, why we have not taken normal loss here? So why we have not deducted normal loss? So here normal loss is already deducted and then we have decided the cost per unit. So when we calculate the amount for abnormal loss, when we calculate the amount for the normal loss, it means that we know the abnormal loss units, we know the abnormal gain units, we are finding what is the cost per unit so that we can multiply with the units and find out what is the exact loss or exact gain what we have incurred for this process. So in this process, we have got abnormal loss units, we are finding out cost per unit. When you find out that cost per unit, the formula states that total cost minus normal loss value divided by number of units introduced minus normal loss units. So there itself your number of your normal loss units is being minus and then your cost of units is been found, cost per unit is found out. So the total cost per unit includes the deduction of your normal loss. That is why we are not taking your normal loss, we are not deducting your normal loss here. So cost per unit is after deduction of normal loss units and value. So this abnormal loss is where we find out the units, how much is the loss, total amount can be found out only by multiplying the number of units. So that is why we use that cost per unit formula and find out the abnormal loss units. So this is the exact cost what is incurred. After the cost is incurred, this is your abnormal loss which can be which is unavoidable, and this loss will be deducted from the balance. What are you getting? So 24,000 minus 1,600, which is your loss, you get 22,400. When your input is less than your output, you get abnormal gain, which will be added to know what is the exact profit or loss what you are getting. So in this problem we are getting a net profit of 23,260. So thank you everyone. The next problem will be discussed in the next video.